Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks so much for being here, for being subscribed. If you're not, hit that button. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, hit that like button while you're at it. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to go ahead and brighten up the place. Let's get into this conversation/reality chat. Bethenny Frankel, best known for being on the Real Housewives of New York and definitely for her Skinny Girl brand, which she launched on the Real Housewives of New York. And now just pretty much being known for no holds barred, speaking her mind about situations, even if it's not asked of her. I'm going to be sharing some stuff that she said. She did an interview on Entertainment Tonight. I'm going to play some, clips from this interview because she recently went on, I wouldn't really call it a rant, but in light of what's going on right now in Hollywood with the strike, the writers and the actors going on strike, wanting more in terms of pay, rights to things, and when it comes to residuals, streaming apps, all of those different things. They want what's just and what's fair. And Bethenny Frankel, she has some thoughts regarding reality TV because I'm assuming reality TV, quote unquote, stars don't get the same treatment as Hollywood actors and actresses, those who are in the union and all of that different stuff like that. And so now she has some thoughts about what they should be getting. First, I'm going to play this clip of what she had to say for what she wants reality stars to get.
The reality TV reckoning, the new Bethenny clause. Reality stars are the stepchildren, the losers, the mules, the pack horses, the ones that the entertainment industry is going to rely on right now to carry the water and do the heavy lifting when real stars, real A-list Hollywood is on strike. The issues are different than the ones for actors. We are not actors. We are not playing other people. We are not saying the words that are written for us. We are exposing ourselves, our families, our lives, our children. Look at Raquel having an affair. Her life is pretty much ruined, and at what price? Reality television exploits affairs, bankruptcy, falling off the wagon, not really having what you say you have, saying something inappropriate, risking cancellation every single time the camera goes on. I recognize that a young, doe-eyed reality star to be wanting fame at any cost doesn't know what they're signing, and they can't afford a good lawyer, but they'll sign away their entire life just for a chance at fame. So just because Hollywood and the entertainment industry can exploit this green talent, does that mean they should? Contracts are designed to protect talent, not for a gotcha moment, not for a network to then do a side deal with a streamer and you see something that you've said on a show that actually got you fired decades later to the end of time. You lose a family member and the network start pumping out the content of that family member when they were alive. Look at Nene leaks. My divorce. When my divorce was all over the media, let's pump all the Bethenny and Jason footage we can to the end of time. I recognize that nurses and teachers and minimum wage employees think this is ludicrous because they are also not treated fairly. I acknowledge that. It is not fair. This is a separate, very particular matter where people's names and likenesses are used and exploited forever. Clips of shows shown on YouTube that cost nothing to post that networks make money on. Merchandise, ancillary income that streamers and networks make money on. Talent never sees it. We build the intellectual property.
Sidebar. If I can figure out how to...
Modification, I did not buy the idiot guide to starting a union in 24 hours, but these are fair. These are ways that talent can understand compensation without having to try to audit a multi-billion-dollar powerful company that hides money in different places and likes to try to pretend that everything equals a show expense, so you never get any of the gross. For unscripted talent with shows that make it to air, The minimum should be $5,000 per episode. Talent should receive a 10% raise each season. If the show is a huge success and ratings have increased, it's subject to negotiation or the talent can walk away. It is, in fact, their real lives. So for networks and streamers to be trapping people, not allowing them to do other things, and forcing them to expose their real lives on reality television is unconscionable. Talent gets 10% of their last negotiated talent fee for additional cycles. That means that if a network has a season and decides to re-air that season, talent gets 10%. If a streamer decides to keep that on, talent gets 10% of their talent fee each additional year. Any additional entities airing that show, i.e. Peacock, will also pay 10% to the talent. On shoot and promotional days, talent gets a per diem $100 a day. Now to retroactive. Starting right now, series talent that has not been paid for shows that have been airing with no compensation should receive $5,000 per season retroactively from each distributor. So I should be paid $5,000 per year from streamers and from networks for shows that have aired after the original season. If they don't want to pay moving forward, the content should be taken down, and the content should not be watched or consumed. It should be boycotted. Talent is not required to give any proceeds of their business to a network or streamer, eradicating the Bethenny clause. These terms are now the new Bethenny clause. Talent will not be prohibited from promoting specific brands on their social media so the networks and streamers can try to garner that income for themselves. Talent shall receive a percentage of proceeds from ancillary merch from the gross. 5% if it's a solo act, 2.5% if it's an ensemble. For other properties, for example, YouTube, which the networks and streamers make a lot of money off of those clips using your name and likeness and talent's intellectual property, talent should receive a percentage of the gross. Now, these are specific, but subject to modification, but they're fair.
All right, so she had some little glitches in the audio, but you basically heard what she said. And I can't say that I disagree with everything that she's saying, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen. And Nene, she made a statement about what Bethenny said. And of course, Nene, she's going to come out and say, well, yeah, I've been saying this for years. No, that's not what you've been saying for years. You've been saying that they have been unfair, and you've been basically pissed off that other people have been getting spinoffs, and also that you have called Andy a cokehead, racist, said that the networks are racist, and calling on a boycott because you felt like you were being treated unfair, but you were one of those people that were calling on other people to get fired when you were having an issue with them for whatever reason. And so it was all good when you were on there, but now that you're not, you're agreeing with Bethenny. But she's saying, well, you know, Bethenny, she has an advantage that I don't have, so she'll be received more favorably than I. And listen, some people may definitely see it in that way, and that's fine. But Nene has not been saying the exact specific things that Bethenny has been saying, so I don't think that it's cool for her to come on and jump on this bandwagon. Especially when, not saying she has to say anything about her son, but the news came out about her son, albeit he is an adult and he's making his own decisions and choices in life, and she should not be blamed for that. But she couldn't come out and make a statement just to say, look, this is my son. I love him. He has some issues and struggles right now, but I really wish that you would not try to pin this on me because I did the best that I could as a mother. And many mothers or parents have raised the children the best that they can, and the children get involved in things that they don't desire for them to. And I'm praying for the best for him. And that's it. But she can come out and make a statement about this. And listen, that... the optics just don't look good when it comes to Nene a lot of times. And I don't think she gets it. And to be honest with you, I don't really think that she cares. But I'm also going to play this clip right now of her interview on Entertainment Tonight and them speaking about why she's calling on the reality stars to stop filming. And I don't think that's ever going to happen because if you look at it, I get it. Bravo TV, they're seen as a several steps, not just a step, several steps above a lot of these other reality shows. But I've seen articles about people on 90 Day Fiance, and a lot of those people get like $1,000 per episode. Do you really think that all of these reality people are going to jump on this and say, yeah, we're boycotting, we're not going to film? A lot of these people, they want to get to the place that you are at, Bethenny, and you got a huge advantage. A huge advantage. I feel that she wants more money. Yeah, she does. And it definitely would benefit her to get more money, even though some people may feel like, oh, well, she's a multimillionaire. Why does she need more money? Most multimillionaires want more money because they make their money work for them. So the more money that they have, the more they can employ their money to make more money. So absolutely, she wants more money. But she got an opportunity, which she even called on them to stop doing, which they call the Bethenny clause, that anyone who is on these Bravo shows, if they launch a business, they get 10% of the proceeds of the business. Now, I don't know if that's fair, but I will say that these people get an unfair advantage from being on the shows to be able to promote and market businesses that they're not paying for marketing for. So in essence, I believe that it could possibly be renegotiated in terms of the percentage, but these people should be paying something, because if they were not on the show, they'd have to pay for advertising, and they're getting free marketing, advertising, and free promotion. So actually, they're being paid to promote because they're getting paid to be on the shows, and they're also getting their businesses off of the ground that they're going to be hopefully making money in and being profitable in. So, you know, Bethenny, she got an absolutely amazing opportunity to launch a business that she wound up profiting over $100 million for, that Bravo didn't get an opportunity to share, and she was able to market and promote. She was smart at doing it. I don't fault her for doing that, but I don't know if any of these things are going to fly. But I'm just going to play this clip.
Bethenny, why should reality stars join the striking SAG union workers and the WGA writers?
I think that we should have our own union and terms that networks and streamers should abide by. There are different issues. It's a different medium, and some issues overlap, but there are different circumstances. We also are not really respected by the mainstream entertainment community.
So what do unscripted performers need?
Unscripted performers need specific language and terms in contracts that protects them versus exploits them. So I am fine. This has nothing to do with me per se, meaning I'm very successful. I have played the fame game and won, and it's not about me. It's about, what if it was me? What if all those years ago, 15 years ago, I was paid $7,250 and my episodes were still airing today and I had never made another dollar since? Take that to the next level. What if I said something that I'm still regretting because it will live to the end of time and still being exploited? So when my divorce was at its worst, episodes were being pumped more than ever. Was I making more money? No. When Nene Leakes' husband died, or Jill Zarin's husband died, those episodes were being pumped more than ever. Do they make more money? No.
Explain the Bethenny clause and what that means and how you applied it to your business, because you made allegedly $100 million on your deal, and people would say, well, you benefited from Bravo.
I was smart and I was playing chess, not checkers, and I always was looking at what was coming behind my back, and I still am. The only reason that Bravo allowed me to take out the part of my contract saying that they couldn't take anything of what I would make is because I was in the beginning and they didn't think I would make anything, and it was a new medium. So lo and behold, I was successful. They didn't make that money. And the reason that the Bethenny clause was implemented was because they were furious and aggravated that they hadn't taken a piece of that. So they vowed never to let that happen again, as did all networks. The Kardashians are building their own brand. They're producing commercials for themselves where they're protected and they cannot look terribly bad. They will look bad enough to create content with a Dolce & Gabbana argument between two sisters, but they will never look bad enough so they could get canceled because they control the show. They control the intellectual property. The 180 housewives do not control of the intellectual property that they have been building.
What other reality stars have reached out to you and want to help form this union or feel that they have been wronged by the industry?
I got a message from Hannah Berner, Caitlin Bristow, Chrissy Teigen, JWoww, people from Love is Blind, The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, Below Deck, Vanderpump Rules, Summer House, Paige DeSorbo, Spencer Pratt. These are people that are messaging me back. They're listening. They're interested, to say the least.
What do you hope comes out of this?
We're needed more than ever right now. We have more leverage than we've ever had right now because we are the losers that are going to be relied upon for non-union wages. Get those losers. We'll let them make fools of themselves and entertain us. So smart people will align. Smart people stop promoting unscripted projects right now. We'll stop shooting unscripted projects right now. It will require courage. But I will come up with 10 rules, terms that people should ask for. And I wrote them up this morning. And one person who's one of the top 10 most powerful people in Hollywood said to me, very well thought out.
I want to ask you about Vanderpump Rules. They really have benefited from this scandal thing.
I don't know how it happened. It happened. We became really good friends. Like I was seeking something that I wasn't getting here. And that's selfish. It's really selfish.
Selfish is the nicest word you could use.
They're back shooting again. They haven't come to contract with Raquel right now. What do you think about this situation?
She's not the first person in the world that's ever had an affair. Okay, you were wrong. You slept with someone's husband or boyfriend. It's happened. You work in a bar on a reality television show, the most toxic environment in history to nurture a relationship. That's a perfect example. I don't know what she's making. She's not making $30 million a year.
Yeah.
She signed up for something that they entertain. They loved the drama. So she signed up to ruin her entire life for whatever paltry salary she got.
She's also been seeking mental health help following the season. Do you think someone who is struggling with their mental health should be going back into that environment to do this kind of show?
Absolutely not. The drug is too strong. The drug of the fame, the drug of the relevance, the drug of the money, the drug of always chasing the dragon and wanting to go back the next season and get that hit and show that you're really not the terrible person they all think. That's what producers tell talent. When you've been beaten down and everyone hates you, you got to go back next season. You can't end on this note. You got to go in and show them who you really are.
But Bethenny, how do you deter people from the drug of fame and TV? Because people will sign up on the dotted line no matter what.
I'm saying it's our responsibility, the people that have been successful at it, that have made money at it. I'm not looking for anything except for principle. People shouldn't be watching these shows right now. People shouldn't be shooting these shows. People shouldn't be promoting these shows. You want to go promote yourself on YouTube and yourself on Instagram? Go ahead. I'm saying we should be stopping down. So once and for all, we know what we're getting paid. We know when we see a residual what we're getting paid. We know when we see merchandise with a brand that we're building.
Will you lead this and help people unionize?
I've done hundreds of millions of dollars in relief work without knowing what I was doing, so I probably could do it. I can be the person mandating what's going on and understanding the decisions and meeting with important people.
All right, I'm just going to stop it there. She shares a lot of things that I do understand and I can agree with. But the thing about it is, I don't think it will ever happen the way that she is hoping for. Because she's expecting people to boycott watching these shows. This is what people do. And even with her, it's hindsight being 2020 because she got into it and she made $7,200 or $7,500 her first season of Real Housewives of New York. And even she didn't know. She said she was playing chess, not checkers, but absolutely she was taking a chance and not knowing what the ultimate outcome was going to be when she launched her Skinny Girl brand. She had no idea that it was going to be successful. And she definitely didn't have any idea that Jim Beam company was going to purchase her brand for $100 million. She absolutely had no idea. So yeah, Bravo implemented that, what they call Bethenny clause, after she got what she got, because yeah, they were pissed about it. Absolutely. They could have just said, look, if it works out, this is what it's going to be. But they chose not to do that. And I've experienced something not like that. It would be amazing if it was like that. But many, many years ago when I started a business and I was actually working in another business part-time, I was working in a spa, And I came to them about the service that I was offering that they did not offer. And I told them I thought it would be a great idea. They didn't want to invest in it, but they said, you can do your thing. It's fine. And, and I did. And then when they started to see that I had so many clients that were coming in to see me for that service and not the other service that the spa was offering, then hindsight being 2020 for them, they wanted to then jump on the bandwagon and implement it and then have to, invest in those products and services and offerings. And then they would give me a commission of it. And at that point in time, I was like, no, I'm already doing it. What would that benefit me to do it after the fact? And I already know that I'm doing well. So thanks, but no thanks. So I'm just saying, when it comes to Bethenny and what she's calling for, I don't really see that happening because she's right to bring up these situations to say, well, now that what they call the real talent, the real actors and actresses of Hollywood are striking, now they're going to really heavily rely on the reality entertainment. So why should we be treated like the redheaded stepchildren when we are people too, and we are really showcasing our entire lives for the most part for the sake of entertainment? But a lot of people are going to say, well, look, you all chose to do that. That's on you. And you knew what it was when you got into it. She makes some really valid points. I don't disagree with everything that she's saying, but I really don't see it going down and happening the way that she is saying that it should. There should be some changes and things made, but these people are independent contractors. I'm not saying that they don't have the money to supply what they are asking for in terms of like health insurance and things like that. But most independent contractors don't get benefits like that. Employees that work in certain companies get that, and they get W-2 forms. These people don't get W-2 forms. They're responsible for paying their own taxes. That's what happens when you're an independent contractor. So independent contractors don't get health insurance. That's across the board. So I feel like that in terms of just one thing that she's calling for, I feel is not even something that would be done. I'm not saying that it's impossible. If a company wanted to do that, or if they had the ability to do it and they wanted to do it, that's absolutely fine. But per labor laws, just the federal labor laws, that's not a requirement for any company to offer an independent contractor benefits like health insurance and specific things like that. That's just not something that they do. They're also responsible for paying their own taxes, which is why you hear stories about somebody like Nene Leakes owing back taxes, or, this person owing back taxes that was a reality person, because they are responsible for paying their own taxes when you are an independent contractor. It's not just a Hollywood thing. That's an employment thing. If you are like I have employees, I have to pay payroll taxes as well as take taxes out of their paychecks, and I am responsible for sending that money that that the payroll company takes out of my employees' paychecks to the specific entities like the state agencies as well as the IRS. When you are an independent contractor, you are responsible for paying your own taxes. So whatever you are paid, you get all of it, but it is on you to get with an accountant, make sure your taxes are being done appropriately. You're putting at least 25% away for your taxes, maybe more, depending on if you are somebody that's in a specific tax bracket where they're taking more of your money, and you are responsible for paying that yourself. So yeah, independent contractors normally don't get health insurance. So I don't know what she's talking about with that, but I will say that I don't disagree with a lot of what she's saying, but I just don't really see it happening, especially when you have people that are, like they were talking about, clamoring for that fame drug. They want the attention, and they will do it at any cost by any means necessary. And I just did a previous podversation/reality chat where I discussed reboots of the Housewives franchises, mainly specifically the Real Housewives of Atlanta and what they just did with the Real Housewives of New York. I feel that people are worth what they are agreeing to with these entities to get paid, but a lot of people get the big heads and they feel that they're above. I mean, let's just be honest. Nene felt like she was above a lot of these people, period. And a lot of people, they get the big heads about themselves and they, they start believing all of the, I wouldn't even call it love, but the fans, all of the support that they're throwing their way, and they start believing their own hype and believing that they're bigger than the show. And I believe that Nene got to the point where she felt like she was bigger than the show with these shows like The Housewives. I'm not saying that these people shouldn't come back, but I feel like at a certain point they need to revamp it and get new people. And there, I believe, are plenty of people that will want to do it, and they will do it for less. So if that ultimately is what happens, I don't really see this going in the way that Bethenny wants it to go.
People are asking me my opinion about the things that Bethenny is saying on her social media about the actors' strike and how it affects reality stars and things of that nature. I'm even getting requests to do interviews. Listen, here's my opinion in a really quick nutshell. Bethenny has an advantage that I do not have. So with that said, Bethenny can say things and people will get it and they'll understand it. For a very long time, I have said that there's a lot of unfair treatment in different areas of the reality workspace. Reality stars do not receive benefits. They don't have any health benefits, any residuals. There's no union for reality stars. All of those things you see, even with myself, when you see all of the memes and stuff that's out there, the way your likeness is used over and over and over and over again, and you don't get one red penny. I don't get a penny for all of those memes that you say out there. I am a part of Screen Actors Guild, so I do receive benefits on that side. Again, your likeness is used over and over and over and over again. They can run these shows for years and years and years and years and years, and you still will not get a dime from it. So I rest my case. I don't want to say too much more about it. I will let you guys see Bethenny's video. I feel like she will be supported a lot more than I would be supported. So good luck, everyone.
So you heard what Nene had to say in response to what Bethenny had to say. And of course, she's going to agree with that because it's something that's favorable towards reality stars. Again, I don't really see it happening. I'm not saying that I don't agree with some things that were brought up. I'm not saying, they don't deserve it. They chose to get on these shows and showcase their life. But literally in terms of, for the most part, and some people may not agree with this, but in the United States, even though a lot of states are what they call being a not right to work state, and I actually learned about that many, many, many years ago when I was a legal assistant. The first firm that I worked in for about 5.5 years, it was an employment and labor law firm. And being in the state that I'm located in, I learned when people were calling up wanting to speak to an attorney because they were fired from their job and they felt like they were fired unfairly, a lot of the things that they brought up, they would let them know, well, unfortunately, we're sorry you lost your job, but this is not a right to work state and an employer can fire you for any reason. So in some ways, things are skewed more towards employers, but also there are a lot of ways where things are skewed more towards employees. And I'm not going to go into all of that in this video because I don't want to make this very long. It's actually a lot longer than I anticipated this was going to be. But I'm saying that to say there are a lot of things that employers deal with on the back end that employees and even independent contractors know absolutely nothing about. And I'm speaking from someone who is an employer now and who has been an employee for years. It's been a long time since I have been an employee. But I definitely know that there are so many costs involved. The government, the United States, it costs a lot to be not just a business owner, but to be an employer. So a lot of times it's really not that beneficial for some companies, for not all. I'm not talking about Jeff Bezos. Okay. He's an exception. People may talk about Mark Zuckerberg and how much money he is worth and all of this other stuff. And yeah, he's living really nice, but we all really don't know how much he pays as an employer to have employees. It costs a lot of money. The government is not sweet to employers. It costs a lot to have employees. And I can remember looking back over the years. I remember when I started out before I had employees, and I look back on it now. I'm not saying that I'm not doing okay, but I was like, dang, all the money that I'm paying out as an employer. I remember when I didn't have any employees and it was just me and I was doing my thing. I was doing pretty damn good, So sometimes you may go through some things and you sit and then you ponder over it and it's like, is it even really worth it? But I'm just speaking out loud. It definitely is worth it for me. I have a great team of people that work with me, and I'm happy and blessed to have the opportunity to give people opportunities and things like that. But it's definitely it's not a picnic. It's not an easy ride, and it costs a lot of money to be an employer, even if it is just independent contractors. So there are, some companies that would prefer to have independent contractors so they don't have that tax burden on them of having to pay payroll taxes. But there are so many different things that we are responsible for that a lot of people don't know on the front end. And so I don't know if this is ever going to pan out for them, but I feel that Bethenny, she's speaking out loud now because, I do feel she has a chip on her shoulder. I feel that she's pissed at Andy in some way. She's been speaking out about some things with regards to Andy recently as well. And I also do believe that with this writers and actors strike going on, she's hearing and seeing that, they're probably going to push up more reality content. So where does that leave us? And why aren't we getting paid residuals? The actors and actresses, they're calling for it. The writers, they're calling for it. But we're on these streaming services too, and we're not getting paid for that stuff either. So it definitely is kicking up some dust. I'm not saying those people don't have it to pay. They absolutely should renegotiate, and they all should come to some happy medium or somewhere close to that medium, because no, it isn't fair for these huge executives to be living up in the hills in California while you have people who are working on these platforms having 2 and 3 jobs while also acting and living in Studio City, struggling to pay the rent or mortgage if they have it and trying to keep the lights on, because there is judgment that comes to people that are on these television shows, and a lot of them, they can't take the judgment, so they won't go and get other jobs, but then they'll be struggling financially. So guys, I don't know. You can let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comment section. It really is a lot. It really goes deep. I don't know all of the ins and outs of it, but I'm just sharing my thoughts on it all. And Bethenny, she definitely made some good points. And Nene, anyway, I don't know. Sometimes she irritates me because I feel that she was not speaking about all of this. She can be so hypocritical, and I don't think she even sees that sometimes, because when she filed the lawsuit and she mentioned Kim Zolciak, when it came to the racism and those different things, and then recently she came out and she was talking about it would be great for Kim to return to the show, and she returned to the show, and it's like, how? Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for being here, for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I just wanted to keep it brief. Sorry it wasn't that brief. Beautiful. And now I'm going to say bye.